Welcome to a short video helping our EMs set up the golf tournaments for the hookers and slicers. First, you have to go to the website www.golfgenius.com and sign in. Upper right hand corner, I click on sign in. I have my password already set up. If you do not have a password, you need to create one. I'm going to sign in. Now I need to find the league I'm working with and the calendar I'm working with. So I'm going to go to the left side when there's season where it says all current. I'm going to click on that field. I'm going to go down and select all. Now below that you'll see that we have two leagues set up, a training league and our actual San Diego Hookers and Slicers League. I will click on the San Diego Hookers and Slicers League. This is the live league that we use for our actual games. I now need to find the tournament I'm going to be adding players to. So I go to calendar, which is at the top center. Click on that. Bring my cursor down, and I'm going to look at the tabular view of the calendar. I'm going to click on that. Now you see all the dates of the year are here. I have set up one here, number called round 13 I'm using for this display today. I'm going to go to the right and open it up. Now you'll see that what will happen normally is all of the invitations will have already been sent out automatically. So the names of those who are going to play will already be in the system. Since we don't have that here, I'm going to go ahead and add some players to the system for this demonstration. This way we do this also is the way you would add players during the course of preparing. So I click on round place to roster right in the center. This menu here in the middle is where you're going to come back to, and you come back to this by clicking on rounds at the top. So I'm going to click on round player roster. Now if you were to click on invited players, that would be the ones that receive the invitation. Since this is a demo, we didn't send out invitations, so I'm going to click on the next one over, which is players not attending, which lists all of our players in our club. So now I'm just going to select a few. I can click on one at a time, or I can do a click and hold down shift and pick a bunch at one time. And then go to the top right where it says mark as attending and click on go and OK. Now if I go over to the left side, confirm players on the top, you will see all those players I just selected are now on the list. Okay, the next step is we go back up to the rounds now that we have all our players, and you will every day there will be more players responding to the invite, and this will increase or decrease if some are leaving and not doing the tournament. If somebody calls you, you can use the system I just used to add a single player as well as a group of players. So I'll go up to rounds. So you see I already have 33 players. The next thing I'm going to do, once everything is closed out, I will click on rounds, division, flights, and teams. This is going to set up my flights. So I click on it. You look at the bottom, you have scrolled across the bottom, edit membership, manage teams, manage groups, manage flights. The one we're going to use is manage flights. It's all pre-set up. It's just a matter of adding the right people to the flight. So I click on that. We're going to do these flights automatically. So I'm going to go to the second one in the middle here. It says automatically create flights using a custom field. We have our flights set up by a custom field. Click on that, and then the box opens up to say what is the custom field, and the custom field we use is T. That refers to forward, middle, and back T players like A, B, C. Then we go to the right where it says next, and when we click on that and then click continue, it now is creating our flights. You see it says creating flights using the custom field T. Okay, there's our flights. You notice they're labeled back flight, forward flight, and middle flight. Well, we refer to them as flight 1, flight 2, and flight 3. So I want to edit the name. So I clicked on edit name and I type in the new flight number. Mine are programmed in already. That's flight 1. The forward T's, and then we hit save. And then we do the forward T's, edit the name. That's flight 3. And save. And then the middle flight is flight 2. And save. You notice on the bottom here it says another flight called middle flight. Dan Freeman, he's a guest, and he just happened to come up on this thing. So we're going to actually delete that. Normally that will not happen to you. So I'm going to delete this flight because he's only a guest and he was just part of that team I put together. So I'm going to hit delete flight. Okay. Again, normally that will not happen to you, but it did in this case. So we deleted that flight. Now we have the 3 flights. So I deleted that player and that flight. Now you notice they're not in order. It's 1, 3, 2. To get them in order so that they appear in order on the scoreboards, we left click on flight and just drag it up, and now we're set. We have flight 1, 2, and 3. We have 9 players in 1, 15 players in 2, and 8 players in 3. So that the flights are now set up. So I go up to rounds at the top. Again, I will click on rounds every time I want to go to the next step in the menu. The next step in the menu, we have our flights created, is create pairings. And we click on create new pairings. So what this is going to do is create your teams. We're going to do automatic. So we will click on automatic scheduling. Let us do it. And we're going to click on no flights because if we clicked on flights, golfers by flight, it would keep all the teams at the same flight. And we want them to be mixed so that we can do a team game. So we will click no flights. We're not scheduling by flights, we're scheduling by teams. Here you can select random A, B, or B, C, D. A, B, C, D is probably the best one. So we click on that, and now we have 4 choices. We can do it optimized for most diversity based on previous rounds, most diversity based on previous rounds, and balance the total indexes, or place A's and B's for high and low alternating. Or we can do a random where it just mixes everybody up. So the one we've been using is this one here because we want to balance the teams so that indexes are fairly similar for the whole team. At the same time, we want to try to get people playing with each other not as many times and play with other people more often. So we're going to click on that. That takes care of the way we're setting it up. Up here, we have keep together and spread apart. That's if 2 players want to play on the same team, you can do that. We don't normally do that. The only time would be when we have a guest, and that is done in a different field. So now we have it set up. We go to hit next, and it's been set up. So we hit continue. This is the bottom right, and is now setting up our pairings for the tournament. Our pairings, which is our teams. Takes a few seconds for that to happen. Okay, this is the page where we do all of our work. This is the work to be done preparing for the tournament and the day of tournament. This is where it all happens. Now, if you notice, if you look at this, you'll see we have 3 spots. There's no team members. So we need to put blinds in there. If we don't have no guests, we just automatically put the blinds in. So how do we add blinds? You see at the bottom, we have all these different tabs. And if I go left to right, you see when I get about to the center, there's a tab that says add blinds. So I just simply click on that, and a field at the bottom will come up. We have a spreadsheet where you just go down that spreadsheet and find the first player who is playing, and you click on that player. I'm just going to select one person here, Jacob Bertrand, and then I'm going to put him up here and click on the empty spot, and he's added. I got to add one more. So let's say the next player that I can use on the list is Larry Capitiello. I click on him. I take my scroll, go up, find the blank spot, click on the blank spot, and he's added. And then the last player I need to add, let's say it's John Conley. We go up and we click on it. And now all of my blinds are added to the system. And once they're all added, I will click Save Pairings. If we have a guest, we do not add a blind for the guest at this point because we want the guest's name to appear on the scorecard. So that's done at a later time. Okay, now we have all of our teams set up, and now we need to set the course. What course are we playing? So if you look on these tabs, all the way to the right, it says Set Course and Tee. We're going to click on that. All we're going to set up is the course, not the tee, because we're doing reverse shotgun, so we don't need to set up tees. So now we have this scroll down box. We click on it. The course that you pick has got to be default tees. You don't select gold tees or white tees because we want the default tees, which covers all the tees. So let's say this is Saquon Willow. So we select that. Now we have the tournament course we're going to play on. Underneath that, you see we have to now select the players so that we can apply the course to them. So we hit Select All Players. You can see where the cursor is right below that field. You see they all lit up in blue. And then right down there, there's Cancel or Go. And that's where we click Go. And now it is actually setting up the course and the tees for every player. And we're going to go down. Now we're happy with that. We're going to click Save Pairings in the bottom right-hand corner. And now it will save all those teams. Okay, the next thing we need to do is to set up a reverse shotgun. And that, again, is all the way to the right next to the set course. So if we put Set Shotgun, it'll open up that field. The first thing we do is select all. Then we hit Reverse Shotgun right next to it. And you notice how the holes at the bottom change from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to 1, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13. That's creating the reverse shotgun. Our starting time is going to be 8 a.m., so we changed the 12 to an 8. We changed the p.m. to a.m. simply by clicking on it. Now you see it's 8 a.m., reverse shotgun. Now what it says on the very bottom row, we have the hole, the yardage, the par, and underneath we have numbers, 1, 1, 1, 1, and some zeros. Well, what this says right now is we have one team teeing off in 1, 1 and 18, 1 and 17, etc. We do not do that, so we got to change it to be accurate. So we have 9 total teams. So we're going to highlight the first one and put 2, then go to the next one. That's 4 teams, 6, 8, and 9 would be that one, and the rest of them would be zeros. So we hit it and tab to get through. Now we have 9 teams set up, 2, 4, 6, 8, and 1 or 9 on holes 1, 18, 17, 16, 15. This works fine as long as these are the holes we're starting on. If they're not, there's another system we need to use to change the holes if the course says that. So once we have selected reverse shotgun, we put in the proper holes and how many teams, we go down here where it says Go and click on that. If we want to clear the shotgun and start over, we can do that. So we click Go. Now it is creating our shotgun. And you'll see at the top, if you look at the top of it, it's hole 1A, 1B, 18A, 18B, etc. So that's what we want. So now we're going to save all of this. In the bottom right-hand corner, click on Save Pairings. We now have saved our pairings. Okay, now the next step is to help you as an EM. You should always be in the first group. So if you're not in that first group, let's say Roger Clifton is the TM or EM for that tournament, for that month. So you want to get his team to lead off because he needs to be in there. So we can do that without having to stack a team. We can just move the team that was created and move it up. How do we do that? We simply click here on the left side where it says Swap Pairings. We click on that and we select the two pairings. So we're going to click Roger's team and we're going to click John Conley's team. And now they've traded positions and we have them leading off. Since you have a lot of trios or threesomes, we may want to get all those threesomes towards the top. So if we do, we can just click, since we've already selected swap pairings, we now can click on Steve Foster and change him with Larry Elliott. Now it gets those, we now have a foursome, a threesome, and maybe we want another threesome